Yo, so it looks like this mission just went from a rescue mission to a hurry up, do what you gotta do, and then get the hell out of there as soon as possible type of mission. It's crazy. The thing that stood out the most for me in this chapter, aside from the introduction of Commander Smoothie, was Tamago's speech, for sure. Because he's talking about the Poneglyphs. The Poneglyphs are in the background there. They're caged up. They look like they're in jail. Got guards there. Maximum security, Whole Cake Island for these Poneglyphs. And so, he says like, well, there's about 30 total, but we only need about 9. They have the information that we need. But for sure, we need to get the full road Poneglyphs. So we know that one of them is in Zoe. So in this case, the Straw Hats already have a leg up in that regard because they already know what one of those 4 Poneglyphs says. Now, my question is, out of the 9 that Tamago says that have crucial information, how many of those has Robin actually read by now? And then Tamago says, these red Poneglyphs, they're so valuable because there's only 4 in total, right? The other one is under Kaido, and then the 4th one, we don't know where that is. So one is under Big Mom, one's under Kaido, one's in Zoe. The 4th one, we just don't know. But then Tamago says, yeah, they're so valuable that Yonko would try to steal them from one another. I'm like, why the fuck are Yonko trying to steal these road Poneglyphs if they can't even read them? Like, is there somebody else in the One Piece world, aside from Robin, that can decipher the messages on these blocks? Because if not, that's pretty much the equivalent of stealing a treasure chest if you don't have the fucking key. Do the Yonko know that Robin is key in reading and deciphering these Poneglyphs? And if so, are they already sending out like groups or people to go and find her so that they can decipher them? Because we know for a fact in the beginning of the arc, Big Mom was talking to Jinbei and she was like, hey Jinbei, thanks for the Poneglyph. Too bad I can't read that shit. So as of right now, Big Mom has no way of deciphering these things, and they're under maximum security. That being said, Tamago says something really suspicious. I was like, what's going on here? He says, okay, a couple of years ago, around 5 years ago, Pedro the mink came here, and he calls Pedro the Poneglyph thief. What? Okay, why would you... So it seems like Pedro went into Whole Cake Island trying to steal the information in the Poneglyphs. Why? Okay, why would somebody... The only reason you would want to steal a road Poneglyph is if you yourself want to become Pirate King and reach Raftel, or if you're actually working for somebody that wants to become the Pirate King. If Pedro is working for another Yonko, he needs to come clean right now. Because I do remember when they're walking around in the town, and some of the Whole Cake Island citizens were like recognizing him. He did not want to be recognized. And now it makes perfect sense. He did not want to be recognized. He didn't want to be outed because the last time he was there, he was doing some sketchy shit. Anyway, moving right along to Commander Smoothie, who at this point I think must be a member of the Longleg tribe. If not, she's like a borderline giant species or something because she's so big, so large, right? I also like the tattoo of a rose that she has on her leg. I thought that was really cool. I don't know if that's symbolic, if that actually has an affiliation with something else, but I thought that was kind of cool. She was doing some crocodile shit in this chapter. She took that girl and squeezed her, juiced her down, and then that girl was pretty much like completely like dehydrated. Like she looked like she was crumbling, right? Just like Crocodile does to stuff actually. But I think Smoothie is a paramecia, and I think that ability that what she did to the girl, that's her awakening. Because if you look at the panel, when we see her full body, her hand, there's like liquid. So it looks like that liquid is, becoming part of her hand. I don't think she's a Logia because Logia's awakenings as far as we know, do not involve like manipulating like Doflamingo, right? Doflamingo was a paramecia, so he could turn his surroundings into strings. It would make sense that if Smoothie is a juice paramecia, she can juice shit. So I think that's what she is, or she might be a Logia, but we just don't know at this point. As of right now, Smoothie has the 2nd highest bounty in the entire series. She's at 932 mil. I believe Cracker was 860 mil. So that puts them below Jack. Jack's obviously, he has a bounty of 1 billion. And so taking the increment of Cracker's bounty to Smoothie's bounty, taking that jump into consideration, I'm pretty sure that the final Sweet Commander that we haven't seen before, Commander Starch, he has to have a bounty of at least 1 billion. But that's just me that's just me speculating. I don't know if that's true or not, but it might be. And I think the reason why we've seen the commanders in this order is because Oda likes saving the top dog for last. And yes, I already know that bounties are not a good, clear indicator of power in the series, but at the same time, sometimes high bounties tend to correlate with the level of threat that a character poses. So even though they're not a good, clear indicator, they should be taken into consideration to a certain extent. And I think what this also means is that when it comes to Kaido's side, Jack may in fact not be the top calamity. Because if there is a dude on Big Mom's side that is worth a little bit over 1 billion, it would make sense that Kaido has one as well. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this sort of like order, and this was introduced back in Zou because people started making connections between the names, right? So Doflamingo was Joker, and then we got introduced to Jack. And so people are now thinking about this like a deck of cards, pretty much. You have Doflamingo, who's the Joker, all right? Jack is obviously the Jack. Drake, believe it or not, is actually the 10 because his name is X Drake. X is the Roman numeral for 10, plus his name is DS Drake, DS meaning 10. So yeah, Drake is the 10. But then if you look at the hierarchy, we're still missing a queen. And a lot of people, myself included, were under the assumption that Big Mom might be the queen. But as of right now, I'm just not sure. But anyway, and speaking of Big Mom, okay, like this chapter just made the Big Mom Straw Hat Alliance that much more probable. Like, she was very nice. Like, she was super understanding. And she even laid it out for Sanji. You know, Sanji, under any other circumstances, like, your friends would be fucked right now. But Mama gonna play it real nice. Mama be playing real nice. And just look at the shit that your friends have done. They ate my candy. That's the worst thing. All right, they destroyed the seducing woods. They defeated a commander. You know, that is not stuff that I usually let go. But because you're marrying Pudding, okay, you know, we can come to an agreement. But if I see some shenanigans coming up, and there will be, you know there absolutely will be, because that box is yet to explode. There has to be some conflict coming up in the wedding that just throws the plans completely out the window. Now, that being said, all right, I thought it was very interesting how, like, Big Mom was so understanding. And yet, even before that, when you start reading the chapter and you see the army just completely, I mean, they pretty much wrecked Luffy and Nami. Like, the only thing that Luffy was able to do was take out the pawns. You see the pawns, like, laying on the grass all over the place. So those are the ones that Luffy took out. But I think, was it Amande? Or it was somebody who said, you know, unfortunately, we have orders to take you back alive. And that was before Sanji had made the deal with Big Mom. So I'm guessing that even before Sanji made that deal, Big Mom was not planning on killing them. Why? That's so interesting. Does Big Mom need Luffy for something? Because I do remember in Fishman Island when Luffy pretty much called her out, and he basically told her, you know, I'm gonna go to the New World and we're gonna fight. Like, she wasn't really like angry. She was more interested. She was more intrigued by the fact that, who are you? Like, so maybe Big Mom knows something about the Will of D that we don't know, and that's why she's interested in Luffy. I really liked the army's abilities in this chapter. I thought they were really dope, because I think, like last chapter, I just read a lot of comments of people just sleeping on the army. They thought they weren't going to be that big of a deal, but look at this. I mean, this is a Yonko's territory, right? Just got to remember that. So, you know, I like how Luffy, the only people that Luffy was able to take out with, you know, his attacks were the pawns. You see the pawns all over the grass and shit. But people like Amande was doing some sadistic shit with King Bong, the tree there. And Tsunami's paralyzed at this point. She was, in fact, able to control the thunderclouds, you know, as stated in the beginning of the chapter. But I guess Prometheus and Zeus were too far away for her to, you know, control them with the Vivre card. But yeah, she looks like she's being paralyzed, or at least she can't move the way that she wants to. I thought the book world concept, especially the way that Oda drew it, was really neat. It actually served as a distraction so that Luffy could get clobbered by that double hockey punch by the end there. And, you know, I thought he was out after that, but even after that, he still doesn't want to move from that spot. But then he gets, like, kicked in the face or something. So I'm guessing that he's going to be forced to move and be taken over to Big Mom. So another thing is that they find out that the Vivre card that Nami has belonged to Lola at one point. And so if you look at the reaction of the army, it doesn't seem like they have like any bad blood necessarily. It doesn't seem like, oh, that stupid fucking Lola who left us. No, it's like they call her the runaway. But if you look at Bobbin, I think Bobbin's like, wait, did she get herself killed? There's a sense of concern for her. So I'm pretty sure that even though she left, she's still in, technically she could still be in good terms with Big Mom. In fact, I think that's pretty much the case. So is Big Mom friend or foe by the end of this arc? I guess we'll find out. I really liked Brooke's speech by the end, just because there was a very strong sense of finality to it. It's like, look, Pedro, we are not coming back. Like, there's just no fucking way. Like, we can't turn around. If we do that, we will never get back in the same way. We would have to infiltrate with the crew. That's never going to happen. And if we don't get a copy of these poneglyphs, then straight up, Luffy's never going to become king of the pirates. So we need those copies, and we're going to have to do everything we can. There's no turning back. We have to do that. I don't know. I feel like that was a little bit of character development for Brooke in a way, about how much, like how serious he's taking this mission here, that he needs to get those copies. He needs to rub-a-dub-dub to get that shit to Robin, because otherwise this whole thing is pretty much pointless, because they won't be able to get to Raftel if they don't have that information. So I like that from Brooke. Overall, I thought it was a really good chapter of One Piece. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And like the video if you did. I appreciate that. Bye.